If there is one entry point that is crucial for the trafficking of narcotics through Kenya, is the coastal port of Mombasa. KTN Undercover set out on a night patrol with law enforcement agents along the long stretch of the port that sees more than 500,000 containers loaded and offloaded. Because of the large volume of containers, the police must rely more on intelligence than machinery to track down those suspected to be behind drug trafficking. Drug lords are also known to anchor ships in the high seas and use speedboats to ferry drugs to private beaches. But marine police officers, who only recently acquired modern speedboats of their own, rarely venture out to the sea. The port has several loading and offloading zones manned by port security officials. X-ray machines that are used by officials to inspect a few containers at random cannot detect drugs, making it hard to catch shipments. Covering the port and parts of the coastal town is also a tall order for those charged with the responsibility of keeping drug traffickers at bay. With the screening of goods at the port now in the hands of port officials, aerial surveillance and tracking down of drug barons will no doubt remain a tough job. Large quantities of narcotics will continue to slip through the fingers of port officials and law enforcement agents as corruption and intimidation discourage those interested in investigating drug cartels. In 2004, after tip-off from police in the Netherlands, Kenyan authorities raided a villa in Malindi and a warehouse near Nairobi and made their largest ever seizure of a cocaine consignment. 12 Kenyans and 2 Italians were arrested and charged. Dutch authorities meanwhile were holding several people, including the son of a former member of parliament. Foreign sources have claimed that Kenyan police waited more than a week before raiding the 2 premises, during which time several tons of cocaine were moved out of the country. The 1 ton that was seized has been linked to the killings of at least 2 police officers. The first was a senior general service unit officer who is said to have had the keys to go down where the seized drugs were held. Erastus Chemorei was gunned down at his home in Kitale in 2005 by fellow police officers who claimed he was a wanted gangster. That same year, Kenya Ports Authority District Criminal Investigations Officer Hassan Abdullahi, who was said to be investigating other cocaine shipments, was also killed. The New Year's Eve killing dealt a fatal blow to confidence the police force's ability to investigate drug trafficking. The 12 Kenyans and 2 Italians arrested over the whole were acquitted after police presented 2 shoddily prepared cases. No attempt was made to connect the 2 cases to each other, or the investigation in the Netherlands and evidence that had been gathered was not presented in court. In 2006, police set ablaze what they claimed was 1 ton of cocaine seized in Malindi and Athi River. But the very first diplomatic cable leaked by the whistleblowing site WikiLeaks suggests some of the cocaine survived and was being shipped to the United Kingdom by flight attendants, several of whom were arrested at London's Heathrow Airport. The US cable points to a former cabinet minister and others as the drug barons behind the consignment, despite having a wealth of evidence, including records of a phone call made from the Netherlands to a local politician. The police have been unable or unwilling to track down the real owners of the drug consignment. But when it comes to prosecuting small peddlers, however, the government appears to be doing much better. More than 1,000 people were arrested in connection to trafficking of narcotics last year alone. Most were traffickers of readily available cannabis sativa. Only 76 grams of cocaine was nabbed last year. This despite evidence from multiple sources that the drug is available in large supply in the coastal town. Hashi, for example, is serving her first year of a life sentence at Shimolatewa Women's Prison. The mother of one says she was arrested with 200 rolls of cannabis sativa she had tried to smuggle into Lamu on a boat. And she is not alone.
Kuna mwanamke alikuwa anauza hizo vitu. Nilikuwa naenda kwake nikimfulia. Ndiye akaniambia, "Uma, waonaje nikikupatia hizi vitu kidogo? Ukikuwa ukiuza upate kitu kidogo ya kuliza watoto." Sasa vile mimi nilikuwa sijui hizo vitu, nikasema sawa, ili nipate kulisha watoto. Haya, ndio akaniambia, ndio nikamuusia tu siku ya ninio, wiki ya kwanza, ya pili ndio nashikwa.
They are among the targets of a war on drugs that only appears to target the small players and the end of the drug chain. Those who engage in the vice on a major scale and have money are still free, making billions of shillings from a trade that has thrived right under the noses of state agents. More than 20,000 people are said to be dependent on drugs as users. Thousands more are part of the trade that is destroying the youth in the coast, corrupting state agencies and slowly turning Kenya into a narco state. Unless police investigations follow the evidence wherever it leads, drug trafficking is here to stay as a dangerous trade that is hard to contain and dangerous to expose. Denison Sarigo, Peddlers of Lives, KTN.